Ladies and gentlemen, many of you may remember that Brett Hankison, his last trial, ended up being a mistrial. So the feds have moved to retry him again as the cop who fired shots in Breonna Taylor's raid. So I'll remember old Brett Hankison. So, federal prosecutors told a judge Wednesday that they intend to retry former Louisville officer Brett Hankison after a jury deadlocked last month over charges he used excessive force the night Breonna Taylor was murdered by police in 2020. A judge declared a mistrial on November 16th after a jury deliberated for several days but could not reach a unanimous decision. Hankison fired a total of 10 shots that night during the deadly raid, but did not strike anyone. His shots went into Taylor's apartment and into a neighboring unit where a child was sleeping. And y'all remember the neighbors that were right above her. So, federal prosecutors, Michael Songer, he said during the status conference that the government intends to retry the case. The new trial would be the third attempt to prosecute Hankinson for his actions the night of March 13th, 2020, a botched raid that left Taylor dead. He was acquitted last year on the state charges. Remember, Daniel Cameron put him on trial for wanton endangerment, and it had nothing to do with Breonna Taylor, but shooting into the neighbor's apartment. And then when he was questioned on it, he said, well, the jury did not ask about Breonna Taylor. And that was because he didn't present it to the grand jury. So he tried to, he pulled a slick behind move. So, anyway, the U.S. District Court Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings set a tentative date for October 2024, but noted that that date could change as prosecutors were interested in retrying Hankinson in the summer. So that date is not etched in stone. One of Hankinson's lawyers is retiring and may choose to replace all of his counsel. This is according to lawyer Jack Bird. This is what they told the judge. So, a 12 member of mostly white jury struggled to reach a verdict in Hankinson's trial last month. At one point, the judge said there were elevated voices coming from the deliberation room, and the court security had to be brought in. Songer urged the judge to let the jury continue to deliberate, noting the enormous resources required to retrial the case. In declaring a mistrial, Jennings said the jury members had a disagreement they could not get past. Hankinson is the only officer who fired his weapon that night of the raid to be criminally charged. Prosecutors determined that two other officers were justified in returning fire after one was shot in the leg by Taylor's boyfriend. So, y'all, they are going after Brett Hankison again in 2024. I just find it hard to believe that Breonna Taylor is dead. And right now, not one single Louisville police officer is being held accountable in all this time. 2024, I mean, she was killed nearly 4 years ago now. And they can't say, okay, these officers are responsible for her death. Right now, nobody is. And Daniel Cameron made sure no police officer would be held accountable for her death. Breonna Taylor is still not getting the justice that she deserves. And I know this should not be a shock in a place called America, because this is how things are done. When justice should be served, it's not served. And when people go to jail, they just throw anybody in there instead of the right people. The exonerations prove that. And now you got a situation with Breonna Taylor, who has been gone now since March of 2020, and nobody can agree on who should go to jail. This is just unbelievable. And it's sick. And how this system works when it comes down to our people. We always got to get the raw end of the deal. And they make sure it's a continuous thing on top of that. You know, my heart goes out to Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, who had to watch his girlfriend die, and her family that have been on an undying fight against this system to get justice for her. And it's a shame. Now you're gonna wait nearly a year for a cop to be retried. Justice is not swift. They may say those words, but that's absolutely not what it is. It sure has not been swift in the case of Breonna Taylor. Not at all. And they're going to push this thing through 2024. You still haven't even gotten to the federal trial for the other cops involved. That hasn't happened yet either. So I guess everything is pushed into 2024. I mean, look at Ahmaud Arbery. You got Jackie Johnson and still don't have a court date for this woman. You know, it's just unbelievable how slow the system works. When the victim looks like Breonna Taylor, then everything goes at a snail's crawl, right? Nobody's accountable. It's frustrating, y'all. It really, truly is. But please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.